We can.
Is it on mute?
No, we can hear you, Coach.
Okay.
All right, if you want to open up with a couple of opening statements about
You guys look a lot more comfortable than I do.
You want to open up with a couple of comments on finally your first practice, looking at the whole team, and then we'll take questions.
Yeah, finally our first practice. It was a good first day. It wasn't a perfect day, but I liked the energy. You know, I liked how the guys were communicating. I liked the competitiveness of this group. You know, I think it was a good start to for our 25 days. You know, I think that obviously we got a lot of work to do. We know that. I think the team knows that. But it was a good solid start. It was. These guys did a nice job of performing the information. It wasn't perfect, but they had an idea what it was. At least from a meeting standpoint, you know, we were able to communicate well and get things started and executed. And now it's time to, you know, as you know, as we go through each day, you know, trying to time it up where it's very high level execution. So it was a good start to camp.
Great. Let's go to Brian Howell from the Boulder Camera.
Coach, I was going to say you look comfortable because you're doing what you want to do now. But
yeah, finally on the field. Yes.
The obvious question for you is, after all this delay, how much fun was it for you to just get on the field and have a practice with these guys and know that there's finally something to shoot for here with this season?
I think you were asking that. What does it feel like to finally be on the field and being around our guys and practicing? It felt really good. I felt we, you know, they had a pretty good idea in terms of the things we were trying to achieve in practice. The emphasis, you know, the things that we put them through today from I guess from a game situation standpoint, we did a lot of things just kind of breaking the seal on a number of different processes for a game. You know, we're trying to, you know, I think their attitude has been strong all along. You know, it was, this is just as they were as excited as I was to watch my first practice. They were kind of had the same excitement, wanting to show me how good they were. You know, so it was a good thing. It was a good feeling. You know, it's, you know, we're trying to create more depth. You know, I think the guys that, as you can imagine, you know, the better players that are our starters, they look good today. The ones that are you know, backing up, or freshmen that are trying to kind of help us get a chance to help us this year, those guys are still, you know, swimming a little bit in terms of knowledge. But it was, all in all, it was a really good day.
Adam Munster Tiger, Buff Stampede.
Hey, Coach, wanted to find out how you felt like the testing component of things went through one day, and were there any ways in which today felt different than a typical first day of preseason camp?
You know, the testing makes it a little bit more different in terms of, you know, you can't get started on anything until you get everybody cleared to start meetings. And we had everybody cleared with all the testing we did today. So it took us exactly 2 hours to do it. So we allowed it for the right amount of time, and everybody was in the first meeting at 8 o'clock, and everybody was cleared and ready to go. So it was good from, you know, as you guys know, that's kind of going to be the process every day. You know, everybody's going to have to go through a clearing mechanism to make sure that they're able to go to meetings and practice. And so it's off to a really good start on the first day.
Let's go to Harpazani from the Sterling Journal-Advocate.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for being here today.
You guys are all freezing up, kind of like it's freezing up.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. Hart.
So I guess congratulations on the first practice. Across the board, was there be anything specifically that you say, you know, after not practicing for so long, like, oh, the guys are a lot further along in this aspect than another? And was there anything across the board you're like, this is something specifically I think we all need to be better at?
I'm sorry, you guys are locked in, and sometimes I'm just hearing bits and pieces of what you're saying, and it's hard to put it all together. Can you ask that again, Hart? I couldn't understand what you were saying.
Just specifically, what do you think the guys did really well today, and what is something you think that they can do better at?
Can He's asking what the guys did specifically.
What did they do well today? What can they work on?
Well, there's what they did well today and what they can work on. Well, they knew how to break out of the huddle and get lined up. And we did execute quite a few plays. From that standpoint, we can always get better, Hart. We can always get better. It's the first day that, I looked at it, they understood what to do. They knew the information about what to do. It's just a matter of getting it to look the way we want it to be in terms of what the execution is. So, like I said, the veteran players have done a nice job with that. Nate, who has been gone for a month, because of quarantine, he was able to just fall right back in place and be the Nate Lamon that you guys would all expect. But, you count on guys like a Christian Gonzalez and a Torrin Pittman, those guys that are freshmen for the first time, and they're breaking to a formation and looking at it for the first time and making calls and adjustments. That's where guys are a little bit more hesitant, if that makes sense. Okay. But I think overall the execution was there. I wanted to, my expectations are for the execution to be clean for a whole practice. We probably, we did a good portion of the practice where the execution was good, but there were some that, we need work on.
Terry Fry, terryfry.com.
Hey, Coach. How much of a competitive disadvantage are you, Washington and Washington State, under having no spring practice and new coaches?
How much of a disadvantage having no spring ball?
I don't know. We'll see how that plays out, Terry. My mindset is what's in front of me right now. Getting practice one in. It was a solid day. Going to fix all the issues that we had with our staff meeting and get a chance to get those corrected with our players and go on to practice two. But as of spring practice and all those things that were months ago, that's not even that's furthest from my mind right now. We have to try to get our team, within these 25 practices ready to win our first game against UCLA on November 7th.
I asked this of Miguel too, but how confident are you and how have you impressed upon your players the necessity to follow the bubble-like conditions that you're going to be under? Is it realistic?
I think it's it's a situation that I think our players have seen it for, at least, with the NBA and NHL and the other professional leagues, bubbling those programs, and that's why they're able to complete a season. I think they get that. I think they get why we're doing it, and trying to keep everybody as healthy as we can, still operating under the Boulder ordinance, and in terms of things that are really specific for us to do. So we're, they understand, they get it. There's still a lot of issues, with this virus playing football right now. You see it professionally, you definitely see it on the college level. So it's not a perfect science, but they understand the importance of trying to do things in the protocol that we're doing it, so that it can give us a chance to be healthy at the start of the season.
Rooney, Boulder camera.
Coach, with the lack of spring practice and obviously the on again, off again routine in the past few months, has it changed your expectations of the season than you might have had you had spring practice and a regular workout routine?
No, not really. The expectation every year is going to be to put our hat in the ring to win a conference championship. Our hat's in the ring, just like everybody else that's in our conference. I want to put our team under pressure. I want to put our team to understand the expectations that we have set before us. That's our goal. That's our ambition. That's what's driving us as we work. So, like I said earlier, we're going to try to maximize every rep that we get from this point forward until November 7th. And hopefully it's going to be good enough for us to be successful. It's hard to forecast what that's going to look like right now on practice number one. But I know we're going to continue to get better and better and execute at a higher level as we go. It's because of, getting used to being around and having practices and playing against each other and contact and, all those things. It just takes a short period of time to kind of get used to those things again.
We're going to have 3 more questions for Coach, and then we'll move on to players. So first up, Henry Chisholm.
Hey, Coach. Across the NFL, we're seeing more soft tissue injuries this year. I'm curious if you have any ideas about how you can mitigate the risk of those injuries, since it is such a different year in terms of the buildup before the season.
All the soft tissue issues in the NFL, is there things you can do to mitigate that?
Yeah. That's, Henry, that's a great question, because that's the biggest concern that I have on my mind is the time that we have to train and get ready for play, and knowing that there were, incomplete segments of our summer and leading into this camp where the team wasn't able to train, So yes, those are concerns. We are being very cautious with how we're starting this camp. It is going to be twofold in a way, trying to maximize our systems, both offensively, defensively, to do the things as well as we can do it. And the second part of it is actually getting your team in shape to be ready to play on the 7th. So it's actually a two-part process that we're dealing with. And it's very important that I keep that in the front of my mind because of the health and safety issues of where we are from a conditioning standpoint.
Justin Guerrero, CU Sports Nation.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, it's early on, just after one day, but I was curious, just after this first practice, if you did feel the presence of your small group of seniors, just as a stabilizer, as leaders on the field, as you guys kind of shake the rust off and get back in the grind. Could you kind of feel the presence of the seniors out there today?
The presence of the seniors? Yeah, you can definitely see that, there's a comfort level with those seniors. I already mentioned about Nate Lamon, who, he's been gone from us I haven't seen him in a month, and he came back and he was Nate, the typical Nate that you would expect. Same thing with Mustafa. All of our veteran players, I thought today looked well. They looked like they were in condition to, and ready to go. We have kind of a young underbelly on this team. This 20 class that came in this summer, those are guys that I think we have a good skill set of guys in that class that are going to help us play. And we got to kind of have to get them caught up to, to what we're doing offensively and defensively, so we can, maximize their talents, and catch up to the veteran players. But there's no question our senior players are guys that, Akil Jones and Nate and, guys that have been our seniors. Those guys are kind of like falling off a log for them. They know our system. They can operate very well in it. And they've been doing actually a really nice job coaching the younger players, knowing that we're going to need those younger players to get caught up and play with us.
Terry Fry, did I miss a follow-up from you before we get to Brian?
Coach, we've been told that the unretired numbers are being retired again. Why are you doing that?
Because that's where it should be.
Any more than that?
Next.
Okay, last question for Coach today will be from Brian Howe.
Hey, Coach, just real quick, I was wondering if you and your staff are going to be staying at the hotel with the team over the next 2 weeks, or if you'll
There will
with your
be
families.
some personnel at the hotel. There'll be some coaches there. I do have a room there as well. I'll be sporadic with my attendance being there, but we do have some coaches there to help, with keeping the process with bed checks, wake-up calls, and making sure we're social distancing when we're coming down from the elevator and got our mask on and, taking the correct path to get ourselves to our building. We're trying to discourage driving from the Millennium Hotel to the Champion Center when it's really in walking distance. So yeah, we're trying to organize a bunch of those things, and we have some coaching staff members involved in that.
Great, thanks, Coach.